Elon Musk has been dreaming of taking people to Mars, making it habitable. And honestly, he's not wrong to dream. Mars gives you every reason to believe you could. It has days almost exactly 24 hours long. It has real seasons, dust storms rolling across plains wider than every continent on Earth combined. It even has sunrises. Stare at those Perseverance rover images long enough, and you could almost convince yourself Mars is close, familiar, welcoming. What if we could just go there? You ask yourself over and over, rover, but there's one thing standing between you and that orange soil, and it's the same thing you just did. Breathing. So what actually happens in that 1 second you try? And why does it mean Mars might stay a dream forever, no matter what Elon Musk or NASA promise? Let's break it down. In the next 15 seconds, you're going to make a decision that ends with you in a medical emergency, and you won't even see it coming. Picture this. It's 7 a.m. on Mars, and you're standing on the Martian surface. The ground beneath your boots looks like crushed red brick, ancient, impossibly fine, and completely, eerily still. The sky above you isn't blue. It isn't black either. It's this strange, pale butterscotch haze. Like the sun is trying to reach you but gave up halfway through the journey. The light is thin, distant, almost polite, like a candle lit 3 rooms away. You look around. There's no wind right now. No sound. Not even the faint hiss of atmosphere you'd hear on Earth, standing in an open field on a quiet morning. Nothing, just silence so deep it feels like the planet itself is holding its breath. And then, for just 1 second, you decide to do what every human instinct in your body is screaming at you to do. You lift your helmet. Just for a second you tell yourself, just to feel it. You breathe. And that 1 second, that single, involuntary, perfectly natural human action triggers a cascade of biological events so fast, so violent, and so irreversible that science has a clinical name for what happens next. We'll get to that name, but first, let's talk about what you actually just inhaled. Most people, when they think about breathing on Mars, imagine something like holding their breath underwater too long, uncomfortable, maybe painful, but survivable if you just get back fast enough. That's not what this is. It is absolutely not painful, but here is the twist. The Martian atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide. Let that number settle for a moment, like sediment in still water. On Earth, CO2 makes up roughly 0.04% of the air you breathe. That tiny fraction, smaller than a rounding error on a spreadsheet, is already enough to cause headaches, dizziness, and nausea when it climbs above 2%. At 5%, your body is in full crisis, confusion, shortness of breath, your heart racing. At 10%, you black out. Your brain begins to malfunction like a phone dropped in water, functions shutting off one by one, not cleanly, not quietly. The Martian air is 95% of this, almost 10 times that number. But here's what's worse. That's not even the first problem. Before the CO2 even reaches your lungs, before your body has time to register what's happening, the pressure does something far more immediate. The atmospheric pressure on Mars is roughly 0.6% of what it is on Earth. Not 60%, not 6%, 0.6. To put that in a frame you can feel, that's the same pressure you'd experience at an altitude of 35 kilometers above Earth's surface, higher than any commercial aircraft has ever flown, higher than weather balloons reach. You're standing in conditions that border the edge of space itself, with nothing but red dust beneath your feet. And at that pressure, something happens to the human body that sounds like it belongs in a horror script. It's called ebulism, the boiling of blood, not metaphorically, literally. At extremely low pressures, the dissolved gases in your blood, the oxygen, the nitrogen, the carbon dioxide, already cycling through your system, begin to form bubbles. Tiny at first, almost invisible, but they grow fast. This is decompression sickness, not at the scale of a deep-sea diver resurfacing too quickly. This is decompression at the edge of human survivability. bubbles forming inside your veins like a storm building from the inside out in tissue that has no wall strong enough to hold it, and it starts in under 10 seconds. But wait, we're still only 1 second in. The air entering your lungs right now, what little there is to enter, is not cold the way winter air is cold. Winter air stings, it bites, it makes you gasp and pull your coat tighter. This is something different. Mars averages -60 degrees Celsius. On a bad night, temperatures collapse to -125. That's colder than any temperature ever recorded on Earth's surface. The air pressing into the warmest, most sensitive tissue in your body arrives like something drained of all warmth before it was ever given any. Like breathing in a void that has had billions of years to practice being cold. Your core temperature begins to drop, not gradually, the way hypothermia usually creeps. Your heart races, then stutters. Now here's where it gets strange. With all of that happening, the CO2 flooding your system, the blood beginning to bubble, the cold reaching your core, you'd think your last experience would be pain. Screaming pain, panic. But that's not what the science says. Because of something called hypoxia, oxygen deprivation, the human brain doesn't process the catastrophe happening to it. Instead, it does something far more unsettling. It gives you a feeling of peace. Pilots have a name for this. They call it the seductive killer. At high altitudes, when oxygen levels plummet, the first thing the brain loses is its ability to recognize that something is going wrong. You feel warm, light, strangely content, almost euphoric, like the worst possible moment of your existence is arriving dressed in the feeling of a Sunday afternoon nap. You'd feel almost fine, right up until the moment you stopped feeling anything at all. And here's where the real twist lives. Because the danger on Mars isn't just in the air, it's in the light. Mars has almost no magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field is this invisible suit of armor wrapped around the entire planet, generated deep in the molten iron core, stretching thousands of kilometers into space, deflecting solar radiation the way a castle wall deflects arrows from an enemy that never stops firing. Without it, Earth would look a lot like Mars, dead, cold, stripped bare. Without a magnetic field, without surface pressure, without an ozone layer, Mars is being bombarded continuously by solar particles and cosmic radiation that the inhabitants of Earth have never once had to confront. Curiosity's radiation detectors found that the cumulative dose on the Martian surface would exceed NASA's career radiation limits for astronauts in just 600 days. Not 600 days of unusual activity, not 600 days of solar storms, 600 days of simply being there. And yet, we keep looking at Mars. We keep designing missions. We keep dreaming. Why? Because Mars isn't just a planet, it's a mirror. Every time we turn our instruments toward that rust-colored world, we are looking at a version of Earth that took a different path. A world that lost its shield, lost its warmth, lost the thin, fragile layer of protection that separates a living planet from an open grave. And then we look back at Earth, this improbable, impossibly specific, terrifyingly fragile sphere, and we understand something that mathematics can describe, but never fully capture. We are alive because of an invisible magnetic field, because of an atmosphere as thin, proportionally, as the skin of an apple, because of a temperature range so narrow on the cosmic scale that it barely registers as a category. We are alive because of inches, because of fractions, because of a luck so staggering that entire lifetimes of equations can only begin to approach the edges of calculating it. Mars isn't a warning. It isn't a horror story. It's a reminder. Every breath you take right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however ordinary this moment feels, is an act of extraordinary fortune, not survival, not just biology, fortune, the kind that planets don't often get. The kind that makes you wonder, at 2 a.m. when everything is quiet and you're alone with the size of the universe, how many other worlds looked exactly like Earth once, before something went wrong? How many sunrises happened on other planets, in other systems, in other galaxies, watched by no one? How many atmospheres were stripped away in silence? How many rivers dried under a sky that could no longer protect them? And how long before someone asks that question about ours? And maybe, just maybe, that is the most terrifying part of all. Not that it happened on Mars, but that it happened slowly enough that nothing on that world would have noticed until it was already gone. Take a breath, a real one, right now. Feel your chest expand. Feel the air move through you. Feel the weight of a planet wrapped around you, holding everything you need to stay alive without asking anything in return. Because somewhere, 225 million kilometers from where you are sitting, there is a world where that simple act is the one thing the universe decided to make impossible. Humans are already planning to go to Mars. The suits are being DA in a lab right now. Scientists are working on technology to make the Martian atmosphere breathable, a project that, if it ever succeeds, would take centuries. But the question that keeps the smartest people in this field staring at their ceilings at 3 in the morning isn't, can we survive there? It's, do we fully understand what we're risking to try? If you want to know exactly how humanity plans to terraform Mars, and whether the physics of that dream actually hold up under pressure, that's a video for another day. But before you click away, take one more breath. Deep, slow, deliberate. Feel it. Because somewhere out there, in the cold dark between here and everything else, there is a world where that moment, that single, quiet, ordinary moment, is the most impossible luxury in the universe.